Hey,
Hey, birthday buddy. We only got 2 more days. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
for the defense. Yeah. Yeah, mine is the same thing. Let me go to the website to see if they got on the website. But it might still be doing it.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Let me turn my phone down.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah. I was trying to charge my phone.
Charge that joint up.
It's been tripping today.
The eliminator challenge. We got to get that pushed out.
Yep.
We got like, what is it, 10 days before the start of the season?
9-7.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, let me check that.
Get that ready.
Let me see who we got on here so far. Yeah, there's some.
Oh, say it. Your boy Ronald Acuna. He had to get a thumbs up. Y'all, that's what we do now. We just let people tackle our players.
Hey, they went in Atlanta. Just let that be known.
Y'all ain't got no security when y'all travel.
Because had that been in Atlanta, there would have been some hands thrown from
First
inside.
off, I don't think that y'all own fans.
I
don't think that y'all own fans is gonna bang people like that.
What?
Oh yeah, that's how we get down now.
Come on, lady. You know what I mean? Like they tackled Ronald Acuna. Like some other fans tackled him. You know, he had to get a thumbs up, let him know he wasn't hurt.
Yeah, it's still only 4 people on here, so nobody else is joining. We need to get pushed out.
Yeah, we gotta push that every day. In fact,
let me make sure it's 9-7 and not 9-6. 9-7. Does say 9-7. So, 9-7 is the Thursday night game. That's between Detroit and
Kansas that's City. The first one. Yeah, so that's the first.
It actually should be 9-6. Is the last day. Put some
9-6. Got it.
Huh?
I said I got it. Ooh.
No, I'm talking about saying.
So we waiting on Fred.
What this was me?
Don't start her up. She got her hair swinging today.
My hair has been down. Pick, stop it.
Look, and hold on, and shout out the ref the district, man. Shout out the ref the district. But
what you say? Say it.
I'll be doing it next week.
You're gonna be swinging your head.
He said that thing I'm talking about.
I'll be the first one to talk about it.
I'm gonna talk about him too. I know he ain't ordered that.
Mm-hmm. But yes, Pick, what you were saying. Shout out to Ref the District.
Shout out to Ref the District, man. Lady A predicted the defensive ends correctly. They cut my guy. They cut my guy.
When you gonna listen to me?
William Bradley King and Joshua Pryor.
I knew it.
You didn't know it.
I did know it, and I'm on record knowing it.
They literally should have cut the draft pick. That's what they should have done.
We had a conversation. Didn't we have a conversation already?
Yeah, because he's not gonna cut a draft pick. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
We talked about the district last week.
It's on the roster. So
one day Pick gonna listen to me.
Not probably next week.
One day,
maybe not.
Nah, you know.
Maybe not. Listen, hey, yeah, we'll get into it here in a minute. Y'all ready?
Of course.
All right, let's do it. Welcome to First String Podcast. On today's episode, we got the one and only Fred Smoot joining us. I sent the SOS out, but y'all know how it goes. Fred, he got 2 phones, one for the plug and one for the. Y'all know how that song go. So maybe he's checking the phone that I text, and then the next part of what we got is the Washington Commanders put out their 53-man roster. So Fred's here for the defense. We have Anthony Armstrong for the offense to break this down with us. Ronald Acuna makes history, the first to do something in MLB history, plus a lot more. Ron Rivera opened his mouth and said some words again. He needs some media training. We'll talk about that, like I said, and a lot more. Y'all ready to get this going? Let's go.
Yeah. First String Podcast. Yeah.
Q Danny, Dre on the beat. You know, yeah. What's your favorite squad? Tell me who you going with. First Stream Podcast, yeah, we keep it lit. We got the latest updates, we don't pump fake. Like, comment, share, we don't care, feel free to hate. We got great guests, join us, you should chime in. Houdini on the intro for the time being. Lady A, representing Washington. Pick Washington, everything Washington. Mo coming out of Dallas, you know the business. Said, them Georgia Bulldogs ain't quitting. Yeah, if you ain't watching sports, you ain't living. About to get my mattress Mac on, about to bet $1 million, bet $1 million. Let's talk about it. We all grown and cool, we can talk about it. Before we hit the news, we gon' talk about it. Oh, you wanna bet? Let's pop a bottle bout. Yeah.
Welcome back to First Stream Podcast. And y'all know what time it is. It is literally Virgo season. Your boy will be out in these streets on Thursday because it's my birthday. So y'all get ready. I'm gonna be cutting up for show. My birthday buddy will be cutting up with me. Said, I don't want to hear it. Let's go, Said. What's up, man? How are you?
What's up, my brother? What's good? What's good?
Hey,
Happy
it's
early
Virgo.
birthday. Happy early birthday. We started already.
Yeah. Tell me now, because I'm pretty much not going to be in shape on Thursday. I'm telling y'all that right now. HR probably is going to write me up and find me and everything. Lady A, how are you?
I'm going to definitely have you on speed dial and some other numbers too.
The speed dial and other numbers.
Some other numbers will be on speed dial too.
What other numbers?
We'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Well, we are waiting on Mr. Fred Smoot. Y'all know he's probably asleep, or I don't know. We're waiting on Fred. He's supposed to be here with us. Let's say what's up to everybody in the chat. We got Bruce Glass first in the building. What's happening, Bruce? How are you? Right. Then we got Droop in the building, of course. And we got John. We got John right there in the building, of course.
John say hello, good evening, gentlemen. Like he don't see me.
Like, yeah. Oh, he sent me a text. He sent me a text for you. I got something for you. He sent the text. So yeah, I got something for you. Hey, make sure you guys hit that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to First Stream Podcast. Hit the bell to enable alerts for new content just like this. And the most important part is that we tell a friend to tell a friend about First Stream Podcast. Let's do that, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that thumbs up. We really do appreciate it. We appreciate each and every one of y'all comment as well. Then we got Droop in the building, man. My Droop, of course, we already said that. He says, Will, you ready for your birthday, homie? Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm ready. I know. He said, I wish I could be down there. No worries, bro. We gonna hook up. You know we always do.
So you can be part of the shenanigans too?
No. Huh? Oh, you talking about Drew?
Yeah. He said he wish he could be down there with you.
So, hey, listen. First off, the homie Ron O'Neill's gonna be here. So
okay, so shenanigans will be had.
A lot of shenanigans. Yes, please and thank you. We will be in these streets. We gonna be hey, say we was in them streets on Sunday, wasn't we?
Yes, sir.
Ooh,
it sounds like a lot of problems.
No, listen. First off, we had some great therapy. We went to the gun range. Yes, we shot our guns in a legal place. We had to get that off our chest, and yeah, you got to go to my Instagram to check that out. I posted a couple of things. Say it's pretty nice with that thing. So we shot.
I went ahead and opened it up to the public. So if anybody have to do a search for me on Facebook, open to the public. You'll be able to see that. You might not be able to see it a lot, but you'll be able to see that right there.
Oh, okay. Hey, we live in Texas in that I wish you would state. That's what it is. I wish you would try to get in my car. I wish you would try to break into this house. This will be the last one you get into.
And thank you, John, and good evening to you too.
What's happening, Mr. Wright?
Hello.
He said, "What's up, good people?" I'm sorry, my bad. Siri started talking.
What you say to get her going?
She don't need much to get going. Say it. Let's start with this. Ron,
Wait a minute. Wait a.
say it. Let's start with Ronald
I'm just-
Acuna Jr. Ronald Acuna Jr.
Roger that.
My man, he makes MLB history last night.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No.
Oh, it's a couple of days ago.
Short. One home run short.
No.
He's one home run short.
Oh, well, okay. So he's about to make history with 30.
Right.
He'll be the first player in MLB history with 30 home runs and 60 plus stolen bases because he has 62 stolen bases right now.
Yes.
Said Atlanta Braves have a very, very young baseball team, and it seems to be Ronald Acuna Jr. is like that dude.
Yes.
Tell us about make the case for this dude being the MVP of the season.
I mean, you already pretty much gave the installation of why he should be MVP. He's doing something that has not been done before.
Ever.
60 plus stolen bases. It's actually 30-60. 60 plus stolen bases, 30 home runs. He's one home run short right now. He was, and just think last year he was out because of a broken a torn ACL. So he's coming off of that.
That's good.
Going into this.
Right.
Oh boy. I'm in trouble.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's an injury to come off of. What Say must have knew he was going down.
Yeah, his internet about to go down. Look at this.
This internet is tripping, man. This internet is tripping, man. You got to forgive me. We got a tower down out here, and they said it should work. When I talked to them
this time, because you've had some issues in the past,
man.
Well, you were like, "Oh, I'm going down.
I'm gonna move it again." But back to what I was saying, he coming off a torn ACL, so he didn't get to participate in the 2021 championship. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he's trying to get fully involved so he can be a part of this team. Now, since we talk about a team, I'm glad we talk about a team. We have 7 players that have hit 20 plus home runs on one team. 7. We lead the MLB as a team, 246 home runs. The closest team has 204.
So it sound like they cheating.
Yeah, y'all cheating.
It sound like they cheating.
Hey, we just got our starting pitcher back off of rehab. He came out through 7 scoreless innings. If we can stay healthy, cruising into the postseason,
I hear cheating.
That's what I hear.
I expect to be buying me another hat here shortly. And shirt, jersey.
All right. First off, I gotta say something to John. All right, listen. So John saw the video where I was shooting, right? And say I gotta tell y'all this, man. Say it's a whole fool. So I'm shooting. And say talk about. I said, you see it, don't play. Say it turns around in the video and says, just in case that don't work, we got backup. He points to a chair. He aims the camera at a chair. That's the backup, is the chair. John saw that video and said, man, why don't you wear your glasses on the show? Because you be on the show looking like Velma.
No, he didn't.
Wow.
I can't see that. John ain't right, man.
You know what? It's some truth to that.
It is not no truth to that. I can see far away. I can see far away. It'll be the little teeny things that I can't see.
Which we need you to wear glasses for.
First off, my contacts haven't arrived yet.
Okay, well, where the glasses is the question.
Nah, we good. Listen, I'm gonna be just like said. I'm gonna have a whole different attitude with my contacts in.
Hey, I'm gonna have a contest on with my hair on next week.
Oh my god! I'm telling y'all now, if said come on this camera with
said come on, if you do it, said I promise you, as soon as you do it, I swear I'm cash apping you $25 right there. Boom.
This gonna be me. Like what said, I'm be like, oh.
If said come on here doing what he said he's gonna do, your cash out will start ringing. I promise you that.
Said this gonna be me. Keep playing.
I got you. I can't listen, John. I'm
Hey,
not feeling okay.
I want to be in the big box too.
Oh, if you do it, you definitely will be in a big box, and I'm gonna put you. I'm gonna cash app you $25. I swear. I promise.
That move that you just had there.
You will get big box treatment on that day because I swear they're gonna roast you. Hey, so
with a headband.
Let's go around the league real fast.
Gonna have a headband wig on.
Hey, let's go around the league real fast with any surprise cuts that you guys saw from people. Colt McCoy, of course, is gone from the. Colt McCoy is not with the Arizona Cardinals. They cut him yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Gordon, running back in Baltimore, was released. Any other cuts that you guys saw that around the league that could possibly help the Washington Commanders, or any other surprise cuts around the league that you guys noticed? And tell us in the chat also. According to John, I won't be able to see it anyway, but put it in the chat if there were any cuts around the league that surprised you from any of the other teams. We had some. What's up, Joe Rocket?
I got one.
Yes, sir.
The Patriots cut one of the twins.
Zappy.
I'm really serious about that.
Yeah,
that really surprised me. I mean, because they really did, and they also cut Cunningham too. So, but I'm really surprised by Zappy.
Mm-hmm.
But we knew Malik Cunningham was going to be a project, and he might have earned a little credit by playing with the Patriots out there and doing this thing. But it really surprised me that they cut him. I guess maybe to take pressure off Mac Jones, knowing there was somebody behind him that could put him on the bench if he slip up a little bit.
But apparently the fans wanted Zappy over Jones.
But I think Zappy is going to get picked up though. He not going to be out there.
All right, so Zappy had like a good half since he's been in the NFL. Other than that, he's been mid. Now, remember, everybody was all excited about Mac Jones a couple of years ago when he first came out. Other than that, he's been mid. But he's not the second coming of Tom Brady because he doesn't have the same weapons, right? Where are his weapons? Like, we could say that Daniel Jones didn't have weapons, and they went to the playoffs last year. Now the Giants are loaded everywhere. Tight end, wide receiver, running back. You expect Daniel Jones to take a huge leap. When has Matt Jones gotten weapons?
You know what? I just looked at their depth chart. They only got one quarterback on.
They probably gonna pick up somebody off the scrap.
I know it's probably gonna get updated, but on the ESPN.com depth chart, they got one quarterback.
It's probably true.
Mac Jones.
John,
That's
you're not gonna keep roasting me. You're not gonna keep roasting me, John. You're not gonna keep roasting me, bro. I can see.
That's very
so Pick, just to answer your question, I was surprised about Colt McCoy as well.
Tank job.
I mean, who do they have?
They have Dobbs.
Don't say Kyler. Don't say Kyler.
No. They're not going with Dobbs. They're probably gonna go with the rookie, Toon.
Yeah,
Toon.
I don't know what his first name is, but his last name is Toon.
Right.
Yeah, he went to University of Stanford. Jake Fromm.
Well, that wasn't a big surprise for me, but if they don't put him in that emergency quarterback situation, that's to me what the surprise is. Like, he wasn't going to be QB1 or QB2. We knew that.
Right.
But I just assumed he was going to be in that new emergency quarterback situation.
Right.
For Fromm.
And maybe he will be. And maybe they sign to the practice squad,
Right.
And they can just sit him there and not have to pay him a full, veterans minimum because he's on the practice squad. Maybe that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Hold on. What about this one? Trey Lance to the Dallas Cowboys for a 7th round pick, which opened the door for Will Grier to be released. Will Grier looked pretty good in that last Dallas Cowboys game.
Pick. He did, but you also have to realize who he was playing against on the field.
Yeah, but Will Grier has been in the NFL now for what, 3 years? 3 years now. He's
Right.
been on NFL teams, right?
Right.
So Pick, let me ask you a
And-
question.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you're a professional football player and you play against someone who plays for high school, do you think you're going to look good against them?
First off, that is an absolute question that we're going to say for Anthony Armstrong. You're supposed to be the best if you have that talent. If that talent is in you, you're supposed to be the best.
Well,
so we will
the reason
ask that
why
question.
I'm asking is really simply because of what Sayed said just now. Like, you have to look at who you're up against.
Right.
If you look good up against someone who isn't the best,
But who's calling Will Grier the best?
no, I said that on the other side, if you're up against someone who isn't the best, how are you going? We don't know how you're going to look against the best. We just don't know. It's not, you're not at fault for that, but you just don't know.
Oh, okay. Sam Howell, you said looked the best out of all of our quarterbacks last year.
Correct.
You told it that. He only played against second, third string, fourth string people. Now, throughout that progress through the season, because he did make progress throughout the season, and he took a big step at the end of the year, right?
Right.
Now, and that's after his first year. So Jake Fromm and Will Grier have both been in the league for a very long time. Now, you could literally say that Jake Fromm looked much better with the Commanders than he did with the New York Giants, right?
Correct. He did.
Will Grier looked his best finally after all of this time with the Dallas Cowboys this year. So he took a huge leap. And all I'm saying is, if he's given that time to progress, who knows what you have?
That's true.
all I'm trying to say is who knows what you have.
I said you don't know.
You don't know what you have until you give them a chance. Like the Dallas Cowboys, everyone wants to know, why did the Dallas Cowboys trade for Trey Lance? I have the answer. I really have the answer. The answer is no quarterback on their roster could give their first string defense the looks that Trey Lance can.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the quarterbacks in the division. They're mobile. Daniel Jones, Jalen Hurts, Sam Howell. Trey Lance is there to give that defense the look at a mobile quarterback. That's why Trey Lance is a Dallas Cowboy right now. Also, he will have time to get better, and if he starts to light up that defense, then the whole NFC East is going to be in trouble.
Well, and let me say this as well. Now, when you talking about Will Grier, in the first two games that he played against Jacksonville, he had 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Mid-level, fine.
Yeah.
Against Seattle, he had 136 yards passing, and I think he was pulled in that game. 136 yards and a pick. So he didn't look rather good the first game 1 or game 2.
Yeah,
but then
he played and they gave him all of game 3. They did that on purpose so they can get him picked up on somebody else's roster.
Right.
Who's your other one? Yeah.
My well, I agree with you for Colt McCoy, but my other surprising cut was Desmond King from Houston.
Yeah.
We're talking about Houston, okay? The Texans, just in case people, forgot who they were.
Bruce knows who they are.
But for them to, he's a cornerback, and I mean, he's 28. The team is getting younger and younger, but I felt like they need him. They need him. He did well last year. And he did well in preseason as well.
I can't remember the linebacker, but there's a linebacker that was cut today as well. Oh my God, I can't remember who the linebacker is. I wrote his name down, but I don't have that paper with me right now. I'll tell you guys here in a little bit once we start talking about this roster.
But you're right about Houston. Houston cut like 3 3 or 4 cornerbacks that actually played in the league that were starters at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Desmond King not only one. Danzler, they cut him.
Mm-hmm.
Tyree
Yeah.
Gibson. Is it Gillespie? Gillespie? They cut
Mm-hmm.
him. And
I just don't get what they're doing.
Houston has a lot of holes, but it'll be fixed. And John makes a great point here. He says the important thing to remember is that the initial 53-man roster for teams are still shopping. So the talent for talent right now, game one roster is going to look different. Absolutely, Ron Rivera even said it today. He goes, our scouts are looking over everything right now, so they can put some claims out on some people. Hopefully, they find some good offensive linemen, because I think we're going to get into the roster here soon with either Fred or Anthony Armstrong, whichever one comes into backstage first. We'll get into that with them. Say it. We got a Survivor Challenge we need to push.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. For those who don't already know, we have another contest that's coming up. The last day for this contest is September 6th. We said September 7th, but that day is the day of the game. So we actually need to back it up one day because that's the Thursday night game itself, so that everyone has gotten in and paid their money, yada, yada, yada. I'll adjust that later. As you can see, it's an eliminated challenge. For those who don't understand what I mean, it says like this. Say you use the Cowboys against the Cardinals in week 1. You pick the Cowboys to beat the Cardinals. Okay. Cowboys win. That's the last time you can use the Cowboys for the rest of the season. You have to pick a different game, a different team each week. If that team wins, you move to the next week. If that team loses, you're OUT. This is how you can find our group on the First Stream Podcast on Eliminated Challenge on ESPN.com. As you can see, click the down arrow next to Fantasy. Go down to Eliminated Challenge. Click on Groups. Put in First Stream Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Go down, you join. It's $10. It's $10. You can cash out to me. This is my cash out, and we'll go from there. The person in first place wins 70%. The person in second place gets 20%. The person in third place probably gonna get their $10 back.
Yeah.
Pretty straight.
Have a great sweat with that. Join in, see if you can beat one of us or all three of us. See if you got the talent to knock us out of the Eliminated Challenge. So jump into First String Podcast's Eliminated Challenge. This it's just gonna be fun. It'll be nice. We'll all make our picks on probably Tuesday, because by the time we come on Thursday, yeah, that's who it was. Thank you, Drew. It's Deion Jones. That's the linebacker I was talking about. By the time we come on Thursday, it'll be locked. So we'll make our picks on Tuesday on who we think who we're taking for the week, and then you guys can tell us who y'all are taking and everything like that. And we just had that nice sweat all together and have fun, laughing and knocking each other out. Is this something we could all do? Have fun, keep the camaraderie going here on First String Podcast. Right. What's next on the rundown there? Say it.
One of the two guests.
One of the two guests. All right. Look.
Oh my.
Ron Rivera.
Yep.
Ron Rivera sits down with. First off, he doesn't do too much local press, but my man sure will open his mouth and say some things in front of the press that just sort of like, why did you say that? Like the comments about Eric Bieniemy. Why did you say that? Now, what does he say? He's been talking to his wife about, had I known about Sam Howell, I would have done things differently. Wait, pause, hold up. Okay, listen. It's time to take Ron Rivera to court. Okay.
Dun-dun-dun.
Yeah,
That was sad court music.
that was. Listen, I'm taking Ron Rivera to court. I am here for the people.
Okay.
Lady A, you can be the judge. And
Nice.
I'm here for the people. Y'all can defend if y'all want, or y'all can feed me information so that I can feed the judge to get this dude up out of here. First off, Your Honor, I'm about to plead my case on why this is coaching malpractice, okay?
He's guilty.
I ain't even. This is not an impartial judge. This is my kind of judge right here.
He's guilty.
This is my kind of judge.
Off the tip.
Said, I'm gonna need you to be the judge. Ron asked for it. He asked for a new judge. Ron asked for a new judge because that one right there. That one right there is not. She's not working out the way he thought.
Me? Oh
yes,
my
God. He asked for this contest to be for this to be out of Ashburn and move it to Atlanta. Okay. Okay. So Yana, this is what I'm gonna say. Ron Rivera was asleep at the wheel of the franchise, and this is some malpractice. Okay, I'm gonna present my case like this, Your Honor. Okay. First off, you did not know that you could be eliminated. You want your players to be up on the current situation and be 100% in.
Right.
But you decided to play Carson Wentz versus the Cleveland Browns on the day that you could be eliminated if you lost. And by 11 o'clock that night, if the Green Bay Packers had won, you would be eliminated from the playoffs.
Right.
Your team, his team, came out with no motivation. Carson Wentz's first pass went 3 yards into the dirt. And yet he stood on the sideline with his hands crossed and let it happen. Yes, ma'am.
I'm waiting to get sworn in as the first witness.
Oh, I have a witness, Your Honor. Lady A is our first witness. She was on site and can speak to this. Yes, ma'am. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, let me tell y'all what I saw.
What you see on the day in question?
In OTAs and training camp, Sam Howell outperforming all the other people out there.
So help me understand something really fast. So you telling me that back in hot August, in July, you with the untrained coach's eyes could see that Sam Howell, a 5th round draft pick, was doing better than Carson Wentz, ex first round draft pick. Get out. That's what the Colts said. Picked up off the street for a hamburger and $28 million. To throw passes in the dirt. And overthrow 6'8" tight ends.
I saw Sam Howell outperforming those 2 other gentlemen with the yellow shirts.
When you speak of yellow shirts, what does a yellow shirt mean?
The quarterbacks.
Your Honor, she has identified 3 quarterbacks with her untrained NFL eyes as a coach. Yes, ma'am. You can step off the
okay, because I was
stand right now. Okay, yes, ma'am. Step out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have exhibit number 2. And I do believe that Drew, John Graves, Bruce Glass are all witnesses here. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We can swear all of them in. Do y'all swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? You put a yes in the chat, if you will, please and thank you. On the date in question versus the Cleveland Browns, did you or did you not see Carson Wentz throw a pass right in the dirt on his first attempt? If you did, just put a yes in the comments for me, real please.
They already got
Real
their
fast,
yes.
please. That's
They
the
already
yes
got
for swearing it. That's them telling that they gonna tell the truth.
It's the same yes. They
It's-
said it.
No. The judge is going. This is Bruce said yes again. Okay,
Yes.
great.
I guess
All
that's
right.
not the judge.
That's what that is. Okay, so now on Carson's second attempt, he found a defender wide open, and Terry had to play defender and break up the pass. Is this true?
He said yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is all true.
He said yeah.
They said yeah. Right? The
Right.
team was flat. Would I tell you the team was flat? They were flat, playing with no emotion whatsoever. They go into the half down versus the Cleveland Browns, who had zero life in their quarterback. Deshaun Watson was trying to find his groove. His name isn't Stella.
What?
He's not supposed to get his groove back versus us in our house.
I don't think that's the same thing.
But yet and still, Ron Rivera comes out in the half with Carson Wentz.
Yep.
Young Sam Howell is inactive. He could have turned back to Taylor, who was the little spark plug that could,
Wow.
and saved our playoff chances, but he didn't.
But the little spark plug that could.
A little spark plug that could.
That's tough. Don't
Your
talk
Honor,
about your quarterback like that.
Here's my last part, Your Honor. Here's my last part. And then you guys are all welcome to step off the bench right now. My last piece of evidence that Ron Rivera was asleep at the wheel is he did an interview today and had the nerve to drop F-bombs and claim to his wife, had he known that Sam Howell was this good and could handle himself on the field, he would have played him a little earlier. So my question being, does he not watch the tape of practice?
No.
What are all the media guys doing there? Not the media guys. The team's media people. Why are they recording practices? Is Ron Rivera skipping out on after practice meetings when you talk to all of your coaches?
Yes.
Had it not been for the little spark plug that could, Taylor Heineke, saying, Coach, I'm not playing in that final preseason game versus the vaunted Dallas Cowboy defense. I'm about to be a free agent. We still would not know what we had in Sam Howell. Your Honor, with these evidence that I just laid out, I'm asking you to give us a guilty verdict of being asleep at the wheel of the franchise. I rest my case.
Well, with all this evidence being put out here
Why did he
in the
leave?
forefront on Ron Rivera, Ron Rivera is guilty of negligence when it comes to not playing a quarterback when they were in need of a win to make it to the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
How, as the head coach, you're supposed to be over everybody and checking on everybody after every game and throughout the week during practices. How does he not get a report from his offensive coordinator, who we say he should have fired last year during the year? Does not get a report from his offensive coordinator of how well this young man has progressed throughout the year. You had not one, two quarterbacks go down. Well, yeah, still you start to go back to one that just previously came off a bad game, who just happened to be hurt, but hey, it still was a bad game. And not go with the guy you drafted to take over your franchise. Then that same said guy comes out and puts up a marvel of a game against who? Them Dallas Cowboys. America's team. Sorry,
I'm gonna ask that you fine Ron Rivera $100 million.
Wow.
Man.
Because he needs to pay all of the fans back for putting us through that torture last year, Your Honor. I just find this right here to be fair.
Right.
Like, there's no way that you could not have a boss and be this negligent. I remember we had a coach that loved to play golf in Steve Spurrier. and said, "You don't have to do this all day. You know, it don't take all day to get this coaching done." And he was out of here really quick. Had Daniel Snyder been here and been accountable and gave Ron a boss, I don't believe he would be our coach this year. Therefore, what I'm saying is this. If at any point in time this year we lose a game, we need to do the old heave-ho to Ron Rivera and pass the keys to this offense and this team over to the guy who's gotten us ready for the season in Eric Bieniemy. Not only has he gotten the offense ready by speeding up the pace at which we practice, he's also gotten the defense ready. And those guys are saying, we are ready for the season to begin.
Okay.
He's reinvigorated Jack Del Rio. So let's see what happens versus the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, that's all I'm asking for, Your Honor. That's all I'm asking for. I don't think it's too much. Do y'all think it's too much?
No.
I'm just saying. Okay, we're waiting on Anthony Armstrong to come in now. I just got a reply from him. So once we get Anthony in here, we'll start talking about the roster. So remind me the next time I see Fred Smoot to choke him.
Ooh, on site?
On site.
I mean, I ran up on them.
On site.
Since you're doing that, I can go ahead and talk about the Atlanta squad.
Go for it.
And what they did or did not do and what I'm disappointed in seeing. So as I look at the waivers for today.
We doing disappointments?
Z waivers for today. Of course, what really catches my eye on the top is they cut the single Georgia Bulldog they had on the squad. But anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. You cut the champion. You remember that. Y'all trying to get where he was.
Okay.
And the surprising one that I saw was the young man, JJ Whiteside, wide receiver. He's been in the league for a while.
Yeah, he's been in the league for a good little minute.
They say he had been playing pretty well. And, you know, we're still trying to find more speed and reliable wide receivers. Surprised they released him. That surprised me. And another one that surprised me was a running back, Godwin Ibuke. That was the guy I told y'all about. He had a very good game, put up some good numbers in 2 or 3 of the games. They cut him. He's gonna get picked up if he make it past the wire. No, he been waived, so he ain't gotta go to wire. I think he been waived.
If they're being waived and someone picks them up, they have to add them to their 53-man roster.
Okay.
If they wait 24 hours, they clear waivers, then they can add them to their roster or to their practice squad.
And one name I saw, I giggled a little bit, just a little bit.
Who was it?
The Tennessee Titan head coach. We cut his son.
You so petty.
Hey, Sid, can you do me a favor? Sid, can you do me a favor?
What we got?
I want you to look up the salary for NFL practice squad. Y'all about to be surprised.
You know what? I looked it up once. I think it's 125,000. I had it written down.
125,000.
That's about right.
Yeah, hey, y'all are gonna be surprised.
It's still 6 figures. I mean,
yeah, it went up.
Oh, it did. What is it now?
216,000.
Wow. Okay.
Sure is. It says veteran players with over 2 years experience will make a minimum. It goes up from 12,000 to 16,000 per week at $289,800 for 18 weeks.
That's great.
And then once you get past 2 years, and the maximum is 20,000 per week, up to 370,000 a week if you stay on a practice squad for 18 weeks.
Okay.
But I mean that's a big jump from 125 to 216.
Yeah.
Very big jump. Very nice. You know, not saying I would want to send a practice squad, but I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice little jump.
I need you to fix your face, Pick. Fix your face.
We've been doing this for 3 years, right?
Pick.
Yeah.
We've been doing
We
this for
live.
3 years.
Pick.
We live.
Pick. Okay. That's good. Whew. That's all you gotta do is whew. But yeah,
Gotcha. All right.
We're gonna run the ticket.
Okay.
says let's save it.
Let me get back to it. All right. Practice squad is not a bad place to land. It's a guaranteed check. And then if you get pushed up to the 53-man roster, there's only so many times that you can be up there. And then once you get there, then your contract becomes like fully guaranteed. So it's basically I asked for those numbers so that everyone knows playing in the NFL does have privileges. It's not a real job. These guys don't have to go out and hustle for money and things like that. They still get a chance to live out their NFL dreams. The being cut today doesn't mean that your dream is over. You could get picked up
Right.
by somebody else or another team. And the reason I brought that up is because we cut Jared Patterson.
Yeah.
Right. Jared Patterson was a local kid to PG County, a fan favorite. And there's always fan favorites that get cut. But the hope is that, Jared may be back with us, and Jared's made the roster before, or maybe Jared gets picked up by another team. But either way, I don't want y'all to be like, oh man, we should have kept him or whatever. Just be happy that he gets to continue his NFL career if he gets picked up by somebody else's practice squad, and wish him well. That's like the thing that we have to do now is we do root for our players and we want to keep them all, but you have to sort of take this Doc Walker approach, which is, what did we win with them? Because if we didn't win it all, you need to compete to stay with the team, because the team has to get better so that we have a chance to win it all. And as you heard me state earlier, we didn't make the playoffs last year. So the team needs to evolve, right? So we're going to talk about some players that we cut. We're going to talk about the players that we have on the roster and things like that. So just remember, this team needs to get better, and I have some concerns. Say, which part of Atlanta's roster concerns you the most? Because now we're about to approach that part where we start talking about what areas of concern we have on our rosters, and y'all tell us in the comments what areas of concerns you guys have about the Commanders roster. About the Commanders rosters, Dallas Cowboys rosters, 49ers, Pittsburgh Steelers. It doesn't matter what team you root for. Tell us what part of the roster concerns you guys.
Well, mine's offensive line. I mean, I'm not going to shy away from that. And with them cutting Mr. Two-Step, the guy who got two-stepped and quarterback got sacked, they cut him. Thank you. Mayfield. He got the old he-ho.
That's the guard, right?
Yes, he played guard. You get timeline, get two-step to guard, but yeah, that was him. But it's offensive line. I mean, I've said this before. Yeah, it's fine that we have Bijan and he can run, but what happens? Not saying we will, but what happens when we get down 21-3 and we got to set up to throw the ball? Run scheme is different from offensive blocking. Running block is different from offensive blocking. Can they hold up? Because what I saw in game 2, which is the only game they played in, they played 2 series.
I got some news. I got some news for you. Said I'll give it to you off air, but I got some news for you about Atlanta. Okay, Lady A, Ron O'Neal says the linebackers concern him. Are you concerned about the linebackers? You're muted.
I'm sorry. We covered it. We have 4 linebackers. I feel like the way that they are attempting to go about things, even though we don't have a whole lot of actual linebackers, we have people that can step into that role and be a linebacker when they need to be. So I'm not really. That's not my biggest concern. My biggest concern is kind of like what said about his team, our offensive line.
Well, it's a funny thing that you said that because Bruce said the offensive line.
And me and Bruce, we tend to agree often. So there's that. I feel like, first of all, we always talk about the quarterback, and you know, a lot of teams tend to have a quarterback conspiracy and all that stuff. Look, at the end of the day, the quarterback gets paid. Sometimes they get paid the big money. Protect your investment. You need to protect the quarterback. First of all, he can't get the ball down the field to your receivers if he's knocked down every 2 seconds. If he doesn't have time to throw. I mean, there are some quarterbacks, they can't even get the ball out of their hands to the running back before they knock down. So in our situation, I feel like that is where we are weak, is our offensive line. I mean, yeah, maybe some of us who are Washington fans are spoiled. If you're of a certain age, you were able to see an amazing offensive line in the past. We're so far from that. It's ridiculous. I'm concerned about our offensive line. They need to step it up. I do like Taylor, but in the preseason, in practice, and you know, I see some holes in there, some things that need to be fixed. Hopefully Eric can get them in shape and ready to go for real. So that's my issue.
Droop said the Dallas Cowboy linebackers. I think that you guys should roll with the linebackers you have on your 53-man squad, on your 53-man roster. Do not adjust that at all. I hope they're all slow and that we can attack them any and every which way that we want. There is one linebacker that the Dallas Cowboys have, number 11, where you move that guy around like a queen on a chessboard. I just want him to do what let's see, how do I say this without HR getting upset?
Easy.
Let's have him test positive for some PEDs and be suspended for about a week. About 6-7 weeks, something like that.
Are you trying to drug this man?
I'm not trying to drug him. I just want the training staff to give him the wrong thing.
Again, that sounds so illegal.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the Commanders' O-line, but this is from Joe Rockhead because he says the Commanders' offensive line, but only against the division. And this is what I'm talking about, really, is because if you look at the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Giants, they have great defensive ends, and I think everyone is. It started off that we were worried about our guards. Now it seems to be our tackles that are, you know, the tread on the tires may be worn a little thin, right? So, listen, say it. Lady A speeds a lot. Like, she was on the phone with me the other day, and she said somebody tried to pass her, and they was disrespecting the horses that she had under her engine. And the only thing I said was,
first of all,
I said, how is the tread? They was disrespecting the horses, so she gave them the business.
They just weren't trying to let me over. They were trying to, you know, box me out. I did say that, but
she said they disrespected the horses. Say it. You and I, we both got some horses under the engine, and we would normally give the people the business when they try to, you know, roll up on us. But I didn't know Lady A don't like her horses being disrespected. But now we know. So we have some great horses in this division at the defensive end spot. So I totally agree with you right here, Joe Rockhead, that there are some dogs at defensive ends every time we play in the division.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget, we still got to play the San Francisco 49ers. Joey Bosa's not there yet, but he will be back. And then the Philadelphia Eagles guy went out there to team up with him, which is ridiculous.
And you know, the Bills may
the Giants and Thibodeau.
The Bills may play us tough.
What did John say here? The linebacker situation. No, we're gonna get to that comment.
No, he ain't saying that.
Based on how running backs are used now, box safeties can handle that. This is what we were saying. We have Defoe who comes down, lays the wood. Cam Curl who plays the big nickel, the Buffalo nickel. He hits, Lady A. I'm
I
not
don't,
getting fined today.
I don't
It,
like your terminology.
it is way too close to me partying to give you $1,000. Not doing it. No, I'm about to be in these streets. Um,
That changed.
I need
Right.
all of that. I need all of that. Yeah. Okay.
Terrible.
All right. What do we have here from Joe Rockhead? Cowboys number 11 is usually going to just be the end of the year. Who knows? You right. Seriously, there's several teams with competitive personnel on the offensive line,
Mm.
and then we get to this comment right here. Lady A
No,
driving crazy.
Lady A was not driving down Good Luck Road.
She was probably driving on Benning Road.
No, it wasn't.
Here is our offensive guru right here. We're gonna bring in Anthony Armstrong right now.
What's
How
up?
are you, sir? Thanks for joining us.
Oh,
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just gotta figure out what time zone I'm in. I guess
You
that's
know,
all. But
me, you, and Sid, we're all here in Texas.
okay. So I was
So
thinking Central, but it's all good. We here though.
yeah,
here
we're here.
though.
We're here.
We all good. So we gonna make it happen. We gonna have a good time.
Yes,
It
sir.
was cut day. It was cut
It
day
was
today.
yes, sir. It was
Yes,
cut
yes.
day. First off, were there any surprise cuts from the Commanders that the Commanders had?
Not that I
To
can
you?
say. Not that I can see. I think there. I don't think there was a lot of movement to make. I'm sure there was, maybe some difficult decisions at receiver, but I think early on, Diami was like, "Nah, I'm here." Pringle came in and was like, "I'm going to take a spot." So it really started to get down to who was going to be on those bottom couple positions. Obviously, Tinsley showed out in that last game. I
That
think
last game.
that's the thing, man. Is you got to make plays. You're going to get opportunities. And I remember a time it was when I was with Washington and we played Arizona, and we had a young receiver in the fourth quarter, and they were just trying to get him to make a play, and he didn't make a play, and they ended up having to let him go. Talented young cat, but he just didn't take advantage of the opportunity that was given to him. So nothing really surprised me.
Hold
Nothing
on.
really surprised me.
Okay. All right. First, I'm not trying to, like call you out or anything, but you have an experience that none of us have had. Okay. You have played in the NFL. All right. So just take us behind the curtain real fast, if you don't mind.
Oh man.
What is it? What is it like when they tell you that you're not making the team?
Man, I tell you, honestly, bro, it always bugs me when Adam Schefter says, oh, when the coaches, the day after the season, they're like, this is Black Monday, all the coaches get fired. Forget that. Them coaches get their money. All right. Them coaches are going to get all of that contract. Today is the worst day in football because you got so many dreams. You got to go from 90 down to 53.
Yep.
There's a lot of guys in there. We can do the math that probably aren't going to get to play football again. Frankly, they've worked all this time. They've worked middle school, high school, college, all for this dreaming for this chance to play on this field, and you get cut. And it's cutthroat, man. It's really cutthroat. I remember, I think I may have one of my letters that they gave me. It's like 4 check boxes. It's like you did 1, 2, 3, or 4, and that's really all the reason they need. It's you get cut by, we call it the Grim Reaper, because really that's the end of it for you. And it's always been some sort of intern, some kid that you don't know, you ain't never seen them before, but everybody's walking around with their papers folded up, and they look at it and they match your face, and then they come over there and tap you on the shoulder. And they're like, hey, coach, want to talk to you. And that's it, man. It's the most somber day to be in the locker room. And then the next day is even more somber because it's like one side of it is like, we're on to Arizona. We're on to week 1. I'm on the roster. But then on the other side, you're like, man, like my dog ain't here no more. You know what I mean? The dude that I connected with, even though maybe we were competing for the same spot, but he not here no more. So that's just, I mean, it's the name of the game. It's cutthroat, and I'm more sensitive to the cut days. Everybody get on Twitter, they bashing players. Oh, he was garbage, he was trash. I'm like, bro, you don't understand working 20, 22 years of your life to get somewhere, and then out of nowhere, it's just that's it. And you never get a chance again. So my prayers and thoughts are with all the fellas that get cut, but it ain't over. It ain't over. You still got opportunities to land elsewhere, and practice squads are bigger now, and you can still put some tape out there.
That's what I was saying before you came on. I said, let's hope that some of these players do land on practice squads, because one of the people that I brought up was Jared Patterson, local kid from PG County, undrafted free agent, made the team his first time. He's performed really well, but it's a numbers game. Ron Rivera has not cut a draft pick as of yet. Right, and Rodriguez put the ball on the carpet.
Yeah.
Jarrett didn't.
When, let me ask you. I'll drop the ball here. When was Ron Rivera hired as a head coach? What year?
5 years ago.
You said what?
He's going into his 5th and final season.
4.
5 years ago.
I think he knows it's his final year too.
4 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
That was before they cut my cousin. I want to know. Go ahead.
Oh.
He I want to make sure I address that.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying, I don't want to make sure I can throw the blame on, because my cousin was one of the few defensive ends that got a sack with Washington during the preseason, but he got cut on the 3rd day. But go ahead, I'm listening.
Hey man,
it sounds like he's a little.
Sid got personal problem. He's got vendettas.
I feel you, man. I feel you. I feel that frustration, because you what do I got to do? You know what I mean? I'll tell you this. I'll tell you when I was in Dallas.
Y'all almost had me pick. Y'all almost had me.
Look, when I was in Dallas, it was in 2013 when they had drafted Terrence Williams. I knew I was going to get cut about 2 weeks before I got cut. I just had this feeling, and then the reps started changing in practice. I heard what was his name? Jason Garrett tell the receivers coach, put Anthony in. After I came back no, he said put Terrence in. After I came back from a play within earshot. And I'm like, here they go. And I was running with the twos. It was Dez and then me. And I was running in that second offense, sometimes with the ones, mostly with the twos. And once he said switch up and bring Terrence in, I already knew what it was. They started, phasing me out of certain plays. You don't get certain reps that you used to get. You see that it goes to somebody else. So every time I've been cut, I've felt it a little bit ahead of time. Don't make it no easier. But at times you're like, man, it's out of your control. But then I'm the type that's going to say, hell, if I get 2 passes versus 5, I better score 2 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Mitch Tinsley did.
That's
why Tinsley's around, right?
Here's the difference between Tinsley and Kaz Allen, right? Kaz Allen had 4 targets, right? Was it 2 targets, Lady A? It was 2 targets and brought down none.
Well, he caught one. He caught that dig route.
He caught one. He caught like a physical in the second game, but in the final game, in the final game, and then you got to figure that in practice. Well, some things came out about him in practice, running like little shallow crosses. He couldn't catch the shallow crosses, so they were always questioning his hands, which to me meant that we're about to lose. That he needed to show out on special teams.
Yeah.
Right. But you can't show out if you. And me and Lady A, we had this conversation was, if that punt or kickoff was 5 yards deep, you got to bring that out now.
Yeah.
Hey.
Right.
You got to shoot your shot.
You got to shoot your shot.
I mean, he's also probably thinking like, I'm going to do it the way the coach told me. I don't want to overstep, but he's in a position. Kaz Allen was in a position where it's like boom or bust type of a thing. Like you need to take a kick to the house, show me that you're explosive on offense, Show me that you're going to do something, that you're going to bring value, that if I keep you on this roster, I have to know that if worse comes to worse, I can throw you in there for a play or two. Like it's not, I mentioned Brandon Bakes on Twitter being one of the last returners that was undrafted, diminutive, very small role on offense, but that guy was taking kicks to the house in the preseason. And the Shanahans knew if you kicked it to Brandon Banks, there's a good chance you're going to get quick six, right? And I think if Kaz had that level of explosiveness, he would have been chosen over Dax Milne. I ain't mad at Dax Milne. I think Dax is going to be consistent. He's going to you may not get a long punt return, but when you look at the game, defense get out there, bend but don't break, get a big stop, force them to punt. Hey, field the punt, get the ball to our potentially potent offense. We think we have a pretty good offense. Just get the ball back to the offense. If Dax takes something to the house down the line, then that's a plus. But I don't think they're really circling punt returner as, hey, this is a place where we're going to get points this year. I don't think they really care for that.
Okay, I just got to express a little bit of frustration here.
Please.
And my frustration is this, and I don't know if you guys in the chat are frustrated about this as well, but teams that make it to the playoffs, they're good in all three phases of the game, right? Yeah. Yes, there were only 2 punt returns taken to the house last year, but how many punt returners changed field positions? That's the crazy part. It doesn't have to go to the house. It's a momentum changing play. It doesn't need to go to the house, but your defense just worked their tails off to get them off the field, and then you turn around and fair catch it. We don't need a fair catch gangster.
That's not a loss, though. If you already now, mind you got a guy that's already dropped shallow crosses. That's no more than 10 yards from the quarterback, and I'm not going to get into how hard somebody threw it. It's what you would think should be an easy pitch and catch. Try fielding a punt when they kick that sucker 50 yards in the air, 50 yards across the field. It's tailing left to right with the wind, and you got 80,000 fans yelling at you. You're not going to put a rookie who hasn't shown you the ability to do that in that position. That's bad coaching. That's bad coaching.
We talked about bad coaching already, but I'm not saying that put that rookie there, but I'm saying make this a point of emphasis on improving your team. It doesn't have to be Kaz Allen. I'm saying there was a punt returner cut today. Yeah. I believe Kansas City. I believe it was Kansas City that cut their punt returner today. I could be wrong, but Brian Mitchell pointed it out early. He was like, this guy returns punts. And he was pretty awesome at it. He averaged like 25 yards a punt return.
Yeah. Now, we got to say, though, there's still waivers, right? There's still there's some guys. There's going to be a little bit more jostling here and there. But, I mean, if I'm looking at it off the top, I mean, you got a couple other guys that can field punts. I mean, you're going to see Dax field those punts. You got other guys that can do it, right? I would love for him to be a threat back there. But just the way it sits right now, I would much rather be a fair catch than sitting back there crossing my fingers like I hope he catch it, right? Like, and I'm not knocking Kaz, but at this point in time, like if you get back there and you experiment with somebody and he fumbles the ball and muffs the punt, and that's going to be back on Ron. And right now it's like, hey, you know what? We believe in our defense. We believe in our offense. This needs to be a play where, hey, if we can get a first down on a punt return, that's a win. That's really all special team coaches want. They want an additional 10 yards if they can get it. And if he fair catches it, he makes good decisions. He's sure-handed. That's value. But if over the season somebody else starts to show something, I mean, hey, there could be some experimentation down the line. But right now, let's get things settled. Get things settled. I don't want any question marks. If Kaz would have showed something in the preseason, I'm sure he would have been on there because they like his explosiveness. But you got to show it.
You got to show it. You got to show it.
I'll be the first to say last season I was frustrated with him. It was always Milne with the fair catch, Milne with the fair. I'm like, that was frustrating. And I think I probably said it a few times during the season that we needed someone else down there. Like every time we would have someone, they're like, oh, Dax Milne, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Like anytime someone else was down there, I got excited.
Yeah.
So something needs to be done about that position. I agree. It shouldn't be someone that you're not sure if they're going to hold on to the ball, let alone are they going to return it. But I do think that something should be done quickly, because
I'm with you.
I feel like we're missing out on some things, know?
Yeah, that was my point. Yeah.
I'm with y'all in saying it needs to be improved. It really does. I mean, you look back there, you're like, okay, at least we're going to catch the ball, and that's fine. I do think it's the right move to keep him, but if they find somebody that's going to be able to have some electricity behind it, then I wouldn't be surprised if they quickly make a switch. Because they're going to know, hey, we need that. I mean, last year the offense was struggling, right? You needed some sort of spark to get you going.
Right.
This year, I feel like the offense should have some electricity, and you want to just get them the ball again and let them go out there and show what they do so well. It's just that I feel like that's how they're trying to play this game. You know what he said? Joe said, "Let's sign Daryl Green back."
Hey, I understand. Daryl still runs a 4.6 too.
I was
so
gonna say he probably runs some people down there.
Hey, he gonna run some people over. He going to let me show you how to do this.
I love it.
And that was just basically my point. Is today's exercise in getting your roster down to 53 is your team should have improved from last year, and we're stuck in neutral right there. As far as the punt returner go, let's go to your position of wide receivers, and then we'll go to tight ends. Okay.
All right.
So really happy for the undrafted free agent Mitchell Tinsley. He played his way on the roster. Kaz Allen played his way off the roster by not making a play. Let's talk about someone, Pringle, who we didn't see a ton of in the preseason. Are they hiding Pringle a little bit, so that we don't really know what we got from him, or the rest of the league doesn't know? Because the same thing could be said about Curtis Samuel as well, because his name wasn't called a lot this preseason.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel not being called a lot kind of had me worried. Honestly, I just was like, man, if a couple of these young guys make splashes, I just felt like Curtis would have been the easy way to kind of move on from there and let some young fellas get action. But I don't know if you're hiding Byron. I just think that once you get past your third receiver, them other cats ain't going to get a whole lot of action. I mean, if we're keeping it real, and Byron brings speed down the field, I think that's a lot of value, especially to this offense. I love Terry, love Jahan, but you got to have a couple of people that can take that top off from time to time, and him and Diami are going to be those guys. But Byron's going to have value on special teams as well. Ron talked about it. You got to be able to do more than just one thing.
Right.
And so, Byron's going to be that guy who's probably going to get some spot plays here and there, get some shots. And as that rotation rolls, he'll get some action. I'm interested to see how they do use Tinsley. Right now, it's definitely protect this young talent, keep him in here and develop him. He'll probably get a couple of shots here and there, but he may not dress that much. There's so many believe in the process. You daggum right, believe in the process. Look here. Garage Gym Life. I appreciate the name.
That's our guy, John. That's our guy, John.
Yes. All right, John. Look here. Believe in this process, because honestly, this team has been doing a pretty good job in regards to the draft and building out a roster over the time. It's been a little frustrating because you just haven't had that many wins to go with it. I like the direction that they're going. They had tough decisions to make. They kept 10 DBs overall, a whole bunch of linemen, and 6 receivers, and 4 tight ends. They didn't make a lot of moves, but they believe in what they have, and we'll see what the depth looks like. I think that'll be a big question. If there's any injuries, how deep is this roster, and really being able to have other guys step up.
All right. Tight ends. Curtis Hodges had a terrible preseason, but he's 6'8" and can run. Is that why he made the team?
Yeah, I would like to think so. I mean, Cole Turner made me feel comfortable with the tight end position, because frankly, looking at the tape from last year, I was like, man, if he's out there getting thrown around in the blocking game, like he really doesn't bring a lot of value to me, other than obviously pass catching tight end. But he's been throwing his body around, getting physical in blocks, and showcasing that, hey, he can play tight end in this league. He's really adjusting to that position. And Eric Bieniemy is putting him in positions to really be able to, utilize that receiving set and be able to run routes on smaller players. So I'm happy with the position. There's nothing sexy about it, but I think all your sex appeal, for lack of a better term, all of your excitement, I should say, is at the receiver position.
Yeah, Lady A is going to find you later. She's going to find you.
Okay. Yeah,
you'll get
right.
the FedEx. You'll get the FedEx.
I wasn't trying to be on. I wasn't trying to be on Cameron's next show. But no, man. Like, you got more action at receiver, and so tight end. It really, everybody's like, oh, who's going to be your Kelsey? Your Kelsey is playing receiver, right? It's somebody else. It's not going to be Logan Thomas or Curtis Hodges. I would have loved to have seen Curtis make a few catches, kind of give you a little bit of confidence in what he's going to be able to do. But I think the main focus is just wide receiver. Tight ends, it's nothing sexy about it. It's about the same, similar to linebacker. They're both just kind of like, all right, solid players. They should go out there and do their job, but it's the other guys that should really be making the splash.
All right. Say it. You good?
Say it's still
gonna be, man. It's fine.
Okay. Good. All right. Lady A, any positions you want to talk about right now?
In uniform.
Right.
Any positions I want to talk about?
No. I was asking Lady A.
Lady you were asking me.
Yes.
I mean, I'm good with the different positions that we have. I mean, obviously, I've made my problems with the team known throughout the season, off season, draft, everything. But right now, I'm really just on. Let's see what they're gonna do. You've made your decisions. What we're gonna do.
All right, let's talk about this then. Let's talk about this offensive line. Here's the elephant in the room. Okay, according to all of the national pundits, the reason why they have the Washington Commanders slated for 6.5 wins if they get there is because they have a terrible offensive line and they're starting pretty much a rookie quarterback. I believe that Sam Howell answered a lot of questions in this preseason with his play. And the offensive line started to prove a lot of people correct with their poor play. With the offensive line that we have now, should they really be looking on the waiver wires and the people that got cut to bring in some help for these guys?
I think that would make people a little bit more comfortable. But, I mean, I kind of lean on the fact that Kansas City offensive line wasn't amazing last year, and they still won the Super Bowl. Now, I know you're going to say, well, they had Patrick Mahomes, but he was running around for his life quite a few times. I mean, you saw the game against the Jaguars. Dude's whole leg was about broke, and he still came back and finished. So I'm liking how Eric Bieniemy handles the game. At least it's been in these preseason games. We haven't seen a lot of exotics. We haven't seen anything exciting and from defenses. And I guess the most that you saw was when what was it, Jim Schwartz and was going against young Sam Howell. He kind of mixed it up a little bit, and that had him confused. But they still were able to move the ball. So it's one of those things. Like I'm gonna hold my breath. I'm gonna cross my fingers and say, hey, just execute, get the ball out of your hands, and that can save you a lot of problems with the sacks. But if it ends up being a drop back game, you're down by 10, 15 points, that offensive line isn't going to hold up. That's just not how they're built. Are you going to find a lot of value on the waiver wire? I mean, I don't know if you're going to find a starter. You know what I mean? You may find somebody that you possibly could plug in, but I don't think you're going to find somebody that's like, hey, you know what? Forget what we've already been doing for the past 3 months. This guy is going to now fill in for us.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to find a starter, but a quality backup, because this is a game of attrition, right? And your Sadiq Charles is your left guard, and he hasn't been able to show that he can stay healthy. Then you're going to go from behind him to Chris Paul, who you paid no attention to last year.
Mm-mm.
And he's coming this year and he's played well, but the minute that Sadiq Charles was down, you put Chris back in again, and Chris is still learning, right? And yeah, they cut Larson, and maybe they'll bring him back. But I think you'll find a quality backup, someone with the experience that's played guard, and then you're thin, or not. You're not thin, but the tread on your two offensive tackles is running thin because you have Leno, who's a veteran, a warrior, whatever you want to say about him, and then you have Ridgeway, who has played very poorly this preseason, and he required a lot of help in Kansas City, which they did.
Yeah, Wiley. Yeah, Wiley.
Yeah, Wiley. I said, oh man, Wiley.
I was gonna say Ridgeway on the other side.
Well, my bad,
Yeah.
Wiley. Yeah, Wiley. Who they paid money to and required a lot of help. So I just think you need to find something that you can feel comfortable with in case one of your tackles goes down, because this is a game of attrition. Wait, a question for you before I get to Don's question of the month for you.
All right.
And then John wants to discuss long snapper. So keep me up on that, Lady A. Do quarterbacks go through meetings for protection?
Yeah, absolutely. It depends on the quarterback needs to know so he can identify, right? The O-line needs to know who the quarterback is going to identify as the mic. So if you go up there to the line of scrimmage, every offense is going to identify 4 down linemen, and then they're going to identify one player as the mic backer. Doesn't necessarily have to mean that they play mic backer on the depth chart. It's just who they're going to identify, because if you have 5 down linemen, you're going to block 4. If you have 5 offensive linemen, you're going to block the 4 down linemen, and then you got 1 extra guy that you're going to identify as your mic, okay? If you have a back in the backfield, that back is probably going to be responsible for 1 or 2 guys go on his side. So if you have 2 linebackers, let's say it's a 4-2 set, you got 4 down linemen, I identify the mic as the guy on the right. This backer that's on the left side that's over the top of my running back is saying, okay, I got him to any pressure off the outside. And it could vary based on the pressure. But the quarterback needs to know, hey, boom, boom, I'm Mike 5'3". We're going to Mike Toothpick over here, Mike and Toothpick. The back is like, I got Lady Antoinette to Sid. Sid may blitz. I don't think he's going to blitz, but if he does, right now, everybody knows who they're assigned to. So the quarterback can say, if the Mike backer, if Toothpick blitzes, see, Sid ain't even blitzing, he's dropped out. If Toothpick blitzes, my offensive line had those guys accounted for, right? We got our 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've got him. And then if Lady Antoinette happens to blitz as well, the quarterback knows I got my back has him, right? So the quarterback needs to know who is where. The lineman needs to know, and depending on the offense, sometimes tight ends and sometimes receivers need to know. So it can be everything. Everybody needs to be there, but for the most part, you're going to see quarterbacks, linemen, and running backs are going to have to know.
So
I just started to pay attention to that stuff because it was interesting.
So that question came from Sam Howell taking 3 sacks that he put on himself, right? So he should have gone through that quick lesson, which you just gave us last year, for 18 weeks, right? Because he's a QB, he's in a QB meeting room. And so maybe it's the new system, which he says is very similar to what he ran in North Carolina, that he's not picking up the blitzes, because the blitzes from college to the NFL are different. They're more exotic. There are different defenses that you're going to see. So my question being, is this fixable in 2 weeks?
Man, yeah, it's always going to be a process. I mean, you got to think in the preseason, you're going to get some coaches that are just going to roll the dice and just throw something out there. Let's see what they can handle. And frankly, if Washington hasn't done a lot of that, they may have not went up against that type of a twist. If it was a twist on a blitz or something like that, there may be some looks that you frankly haven't prepared for. They know base rules, like, all right, base rules, if we're 300 jet, this is what our protection is. We're going here, here, here. But things can change. People will sell that they're blitzing. They'll sugar up there, and you'll be like, "Oh, Mike is right here." And then he drops out, and then they blitz a corner. But if you misidentify and somebody drops out and they blitz this corner, now the corner is unblocked, and if so now you got to take positionally, you may have to go to the next level. Like if you get a good running back that understands pass protection, they'll be able to say, okay, you called the Mike in here, but he already knows I got protection over here. So if he drops out, like I'm still hanging in here for you, right? So most guys are going to understand, hey, I can't leave until I actually make sure everything is sound. But it's just a process. Well, once everybody gets into the meeting together, Sam is going to they'll look at a front, and then Sam will say, hey, I'm going to identify Lady Antoinette as the Mike on this play. And then the O-line can go through and say, all right, well, we're going to B block up the toothpick. I got Antoinette. We're here and here. And like, hey, the back is like, if they blitz, I got this. So they just talk through that stuff. It's all about watching tape. And then as they go, I mean, the first week may be a little shaky, but frankly, Arizona's trying to lay down for everybody. So the first week should be okay. But when you get some exotic stuff, it may be confusing a little bit, but I've seen Sam quickly adjust. All right. Eric Bieniemy is a guy that adjusts. He ain't a guy that's just going to bang his head up against a wall and like, hey, this ain't working. Let's change it to this and let's give ourselves a different option. With EB's play calling style, the way that he mixes things up, the screens, the rockets and Larry's out to the receivers, and just the quick game, it negates a lot of that aggression that you're going to get from defenses.
All right. So the other part about it too is that it seems like Eric Bieniemy said, I'm not game planning for none of this. We're going to roll out some basic concepts, and you guys are going to man on man beat your man so we can truly identify who is a dog and who can play. So I can't really wait for week 1 to see once they start putting the game plans in to see who they're going to pick on and things like that. I got your question of the month, Don. Let's talk about this long snapper that John wants to talk about. Cheeseman has been tweaking some things, but he made the roster. They never brought in another snapper for a competition with them. They didn't. And Cheeseman is here. He's a really good young player. Should we be concerned about the long snap game and when it comes to teams?
Man, I tell you, that's a position that is very important. It's extremely important. If you have a bad snap, like they really aren't going to be able to, they're obviously going to have to finish that one game, But if there's a bad snap and it causes you to lose points, trust and believe that following Tuesday, there's going to be 2 or 3 guys up there that are snapping the football for tryout purposes. I mean, it's similar to the punt return thing. I mean, hey, if Milne gets back there and knock on wood, Milne gets back there and muffs a punt, they're going to be having open auditions, right? I mean, you don't want to, you don't want that to happen, but this is how the league is. Like, you don't get a chance to say, you know what, you messed up. Like, nah, man, hey, we got to switch. You can't have no bad snaps on the punt. Like, you cost us a touchdown. You cost us the game based on that play. And sure, you can go and be like, oh, well, it shouldn't have come down to that. Forget that. It came down to that. Yeah. If you just snap it and we can punt it, our defense has been playing well, but now you have a bad snap and, we turn the ball over. It puts more pressure on us. We got to look at a different direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Just to put it out there, I mean, I was kind of going off on Joey Sly last season, but from what I see, he's been working with Trustway, who is definitely an amazing leader on the team. And I've seen improvements. I'm hoping that what I've seen in practice and the preseason carries over to the regular season. But as far as Cheeseman, it's like we're just getting to where we are with Joey Sly now. So I need Cheeseman to make sure he is on point because we don't have much room for error when it comes to Joey. If it was Trustway, I'm okay. But we're talking Joey, and they've been using him and making sure that they get him together. So hopefully we won't have the same problems we had last year.
I'm with you, Lady A. I don't want special teams is that one play where you're like, I don't want nothing exciting to happen. Snap it, cover the punt, tackle him, create a net. Let's just get the ball, get past this little television break, and then get back to football, right? Like, I don't want nothing. I don't need anything crazy to happen. And when they do happen, it's momentum changing games. Like, it really can tip the scales. Like, if you muff a punt and they recover it down there, like, that's a 50-yard play that they got. Right. They steal that possession back from you. You know what I mean? So,
or if you lose by 1 point and he missed the extra point. Yeah. But, I mean, clearly that could have changed the course of the game. So, it's important.
It really is. It's one of those things you got to make sure you really roll out. I mean, everybody's going to be getting work. And that's one thing I don't want anybody to assume that, you know, those guys aren't working to get better. They're not trying to improve. But, hey, man, we can't risk it right now. We need you to execute. And if you're not executing, they're going to make changes. And I think that I'm hopeful that they'll be good week 1. I'm solid. I feel like they're going to be okay.
Okay, right. John, I'm not giving Joey slack because he has a home gym. I have a home gym. So what does that mean?
Is it in your garage? That's the question.
It is not in my garage.
Well, it's not a home gym.
It's in my basement, but
garage
that counts
gym.
To me. That counts to me. That works.
Garage gym works. Yeah, that's what John is about. Okay, so we have to get to the question of the month for you. All right, and have you been on this month of August?
Ooh,
I don't think I don't recall his answers.
I think it was July.
No. Let's say
all right. So the question is your top 5 athletes, regardless of sport.
Of all time? Or just
yes,
right
sir.
Now?
Of all time.
Ooh. In no particular order.
Okay.
In no particular order. I'm gonna just kind of go off the top of my head. Oh man, top athletes. Are we talking like athleticism or just like my favorite type athletes of all
Lady
time?
A's gonna give you her list real fast because my birthday is coming and I'm about to turn up. So
okay,
I mixed some of them up because I was being fancy. I gave my 5 and then I gave some honorable mentions. And I realized that sometimes when we go to recap, I accidentally named them honorable mentions instead. But mine were, I definitely had Serena. I had Pele. I had Wayne Gretzky, Sugar Ray Robinson, Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to hear hers so I can remember mine. At Carl Lewis, Wayne Gretzky, Tom Brady. I had somebody else. Did I say Jordan? I believe it was Jordan.
You didn't say Jordan.
Yeah, you had Jordan.
Jordan, and I can't remember who the last one was.
Oh man, you gotta write that thing down, Pick.
Well, listen, Pick literally is about to, when we finish this, set up Thursday's show, which I want to be part of, but not really, because Thursday's my birthday.
Yeah,
Saturday, I'm going to get Saturday's show together. I don't expect to see me on Saturday either.
You say you're going to have a substitute.
Because it's a holiday weekend.
I love it.
Yeah, so you guys will see me Tuesday when Doc is here.
Already.
Was that Doc? Yeah, Doc will be here Tuesday. Yeah, so that's what you got.
He can't even remember. This is
man.
He let that man enjoy his birthday.
I'm about to live.
No.
Enjoy that birthday.
Let me say this. Look, Uncle Anthony Armstrong, I need you to understand that my son's birthday is also on Thursday. And
yeah, that's my birthday buddy.
Who he lovingly calls Uncle Tooth. Yeah, he's talking about he's gonna take my son.
We about to be in these streets.
No.
Okay.
We about to be in these streets.
Okay.
Well,
Get out of the city a little
You're
bit.
25-hour drive away from me.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just drop him off at school. I got it from there.
Hey, you got at least you got a
Don't worry about that.
babysitter. You got a babysitter covered, so that's good.
He don't need
Okay.
no babysitter. I think Pick just need a designated driver.
Hey man, you gotta make it happen some way. One way or
Gotta
the
make
other.
it happen.
I ain't mad at it, Pick.
You
I
had
ain't
some
mad at it.
time. You had some time. Let's get some athletes listed here.
Okay, all right. I do think I put Serena up there. I think she's an amazing tennis player. She's had an astonishing career. I gotta put Tiger Woods up there because golf is not easy. So many mechanics to it, and he really was responsible for getting a whole generation of black kids, brown kids, and anybody that felt like it to get into golf. So he transcended the game. A name hit my head, Ken Griffey Jr. I like that guy.
Ooh, the
That was
kid.
one of my honorable mentions.
The
kid. You know, I would say this list are probably athletes that had like a transformative relationship with the game, whatever game they were. So my next one would be Allen Iverson.
Okay.
I think he's one of those guys that you just like, you all think about the practice, the game, and the shoes, and the headband, and just his whole overall swag. I mean, my man was 6 foot 165, just out there doing it. I love that. I could get down with that. It's easy. And as I would say, it's easy to put Jordan and stuff on there, you know. But I'm gonna force myself to pick somebody else. Football wise, Deion Sanders, prime.
Okay.
Prime time, because I had the poster on my wall. The world is covered by 2/3 water. I cover the remaining third. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but Deion carried. I mean, you see the swag he got now. He carried that same swag into the game, and I mean, frankly, when I had that feeling, you couldn't tell me nothing, right? I knew that I was the best one on the field. I knew that I was going to be able to have a hell of a day. So prime probably helped bolster some little inner young Armstrong confidence, just the way he carried himself, laying the jersey out and everything. Yeah, put prime on.
You look good. You look good. You feel good. You feel good. You play good.
You play good. They pay good. That's the last part they don't throw in there. That's the part that that really caps it off.
Yeah. So this brings me to my last question. Actually, this is a question I told Lady A we was gonna hold off on. So when you play high school ball, did it seem like you were just like the most talented person on the field?
Not at all. Not at all. I was a JV killer and varsity, like little me. You know, I could make a play here or there, but it wasn't. You know, I wasn't just every week like balling. You know, I was small, fast, but just small, real raw at the receiver position. Team wasn't good. We had quarterback, you know, smaller quarterback, didn't have a big arm. Like it just. We weren't a good team. Even in college, we weren't really a good team. I may have been one of the better players on the team, but I honestly never looked at myself like that.
Right.
I was just out there trying to grind. But I mean, I look back now, like I wasn't on varsity till I was a junior. Like I wasn't one of those like kids that were just like, man, you always knew he was gonna be.
Right. You had to grind. You had to grind to get it.
I worked my ass off to get where I got to. You know what I mean? And it was more about the mentality of being hungry and just saying, I want to continue to get better. That's what did it, really, you know, rather than just I wasn't taller than everybody. I'm faster than quite a few, but, you know, that doesn't always, you know, guarantee success. So no, I was not the best in high school, not at all.
But you said still raw, and sometimes I think it's when they're so polished in high school that they have no challenges and things like that, and then they get to the next level, and then the talent becomes just as great, and then you sort of fade off because you can't take it to the next level, or improve your skill set, and you don't work as hard. The reason I asked that question is because I want to ask you this. Is who can still improve their skill set in our wide receiver group? Who
I think-
hasn't reached their top level yet?
I'm gonna just say De'Ami Brown. De'Ami Brown is the guy. I just talked to David Robinson, who's a receiver coach down here in Dallas. D-Rob Always Open. He's worked with Jahan all through college, and he might still work with him now. But I was like, man, we got to get some more of them Commanders receivers to come down here and work with you, because the guy's got 59 receivers that's been drafted. He's worked with AB, Tyreek Hill, so many players, and I love the way that he coaches guys. But whenever you're a fast guy, like De'Ami and similar to myself, everybody knows you can run. And the first way to stop that is to get somebody right in your face and press you. So De'Ami is going to have to really craft his release game, really make sure he can get the hell off the line of scrimmage. He's going to have to really hone his intermediate route running game. And maybe you don't have to be the best route runner in the intermediate, but you have to at least say, I can run these routes, and I'm not just a go ball guy. I'm not just a deep threat. So seeing De'Ami round out as a receiver, fill in a few areas that may be lacking a little bit, I think he's probably the guy that has the most room to improve, because it's the speed. When you have that much speed, can't coach that. Like, there's a lot of really good receivers. Like, what's the cat? Bryce Tremaine. Like, he ran some solid routes. He was big, but he wasn't fast.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what you gonna tell him to do? Go get faster? Like, he gonna get maybe a point faster. That's about it. But other than that, he's got to be really good with his hands. He got to be perfect on his routes. He's got to catch everything, because he's not going to get by everybody.
Right.
So De'Ami just needs to just clean up those other areas to make sure that he can be on the field more than just, big posts and goes and clear out routes.
Have you noticed Terry improving his route running?
Man, I think Terry's like always been a good route runner, and he has the mentality from the outside looking in to always be wanting to improve. And so would I say, has he improved? I'm gonna say yes, because you don't continue to have success through second, third, fourth years, and you don't get that contract if you haven't improved. What I'm most excited for him is just having a consistent offense and having a consistent quarterback and having plays dialed up that are for him. Because I think that there's more growth. There's more results that can come for Terry McLaurin.
Right.
All right. Anthony, thank you for your time, and thank you for being available to us. We really appreciate it. I told you I have you here for 20 minutes, man. I had you here way longer. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Of course, y'all know y'all can check out Anthony on Believe. That's what John was referring to on that Believe Network. So make sure y'all check him out, man. He does really good film studies and breakdowns and things like that. And trust me, I do look at it. I do watch, and that's why I bring you on, because it is pretty awesome. Thank you again for joining us. And Sid is having some problems. That's why he's in the chat right now. He told y'all earlier his internet problems. Anthony, man, I really got to get up with you. Both of us are here in Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so we'll link up, man. I'd love to sit back and talk some ball with you, maybe watch a college football game with you or something like that. So that'd be pretty awesome.
Love it. Sounds good. I just found out there's a cigar shop down the street that the guy is a Washington fan, so I'm gonna pull up in there.
What's the cigar bar?
I think it's like LG's something.
The Ants spot.
No, this is not in Arlington, right? We can't hear you. Oh, you got muted. Hold on. Nope, you muted yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You still muted.
I don't know.
You're muted. You're muted. Did you press it on your mic? Did you mute your mic? Oh, there you go. Yeah, we can hear you.
I hope so. My little mic is so finicky. If I touch it, it don't want to act right. But LG Cigar Bar, Cigar Lounge. It's in Allen, so it's on this other side of town. But apparently he's a Washington, so I'm gonna have to pull up.
Okay. Cool.
That's
Let them
what's
know pickle slide through for sure.
Oh, man.
All right. Thank you so much. We really, really do appreciate you. John, what are you sending me? John wants to know if you have a home gym.
I do, man. I got my garage gym is all put together. It's not unfortunate, but my wife uses it a lot more than me. That's the reason why we got 3 kids and 1 on the way. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. But no, we got a home gym, man. I got a little row machine in there. Got a little a rack that pulls out on the off the wall, and I got just enough weights to maintain. I ain't trying to put nothing over. I ain't need no 300 pounds on the back and forth.
Understood.
Yeah, Sam found it. Yep, that's the
Yeah,
one.
he did. Yeah. Sam found it.
Sam
Found it. Yeah, he's on it. Okay. All right. I got you, Anthony. I'll still stay in touch with you, man, so we can hook up. Okay. Appreciate you again. Thank you so much. Lady A, Said's not here. Did we cover everything?
We did.
Oh, I got it. Anthony, stay with us for a second, okay? Don't leave. I'll talk to you backstage in a second.
Man.
We did, and since we did that, I'm gonna say this to y'all. Shouts out to my son, United States Air Force. First String Podcast is second to none. Come get some. Tell them, Lady A.
Go Dogs and Commanders.
Hail.
Ready for your beats? All right,